Good morning, all. Good morning, my dear friends. Good morning,
सुमित
all the students. Yes, sir.
सुमित आवाज माझ्यापर्यंत येत नाहीये.
बरं एकच मिनिट. आता येतोय, सर?
आवाज मला व्यवस्थित ऐकू येतोय.
हा, आता तुमचा आला मला, पण सुमित जे बोलत होता ते ऐकू येत नव्हतं.
ओके. आता येतोय, सर, माझा
हा,
आवाज?
आता येतोय. हा, आता येतोय. येस.
Okay, sir. Yes. Okay, sir. Yes. Good morning, all my dear students. Honorable Shri Swananda Dhole, sir, who is the chief guest for today's session. Shri Kedar Tapikar, sir, Assistant Director, Maharashtra Education Society's Shikshan Prabodhini Wing. I welcome both of you, sir, and I welcome all the students who have joined here for gaining some insights from none other than Shri Swananda Dhole, sir. We actually would like to welcome Shri Swananda Dhole, sir, on today's occasion as he accepted our invitation and he was gracious enough to deliver a session for our students. Students
सुमित
would like to.
परत व्हॉइस तुझं.
Okay.
Now it is okay.
Okay. Students, I would like to read out a brief profile of today's chief guest, Shri Swananda Dhole, sir. Shri Swananda Dhole is having 30 years of work experience in accounting, auditing, finance, payroll, systems, and ERP packages with market leaders in various industry sectors in India, New Zealand, Gulf, and other regions. To just have a glimpse of his career, I would like to read out the various positions which he had held in various capacities. Yeah. Sir joined his career as a finance executive in Patheja Forgings Limited, based in Pune, and he also worked as a summer trainee in Citibank India. He also held project accountant post in A. Ahmed Nas Contracting Company Limited, based out of Kuwait. Sir also played a key role as a financial accounting consultant for Continental Informatics India Limited, India, Pune, and also as a finance executive in IT in Dubai. Sir later joined as an assistant financial controller in Pan Pacific Auto Electronics Limited, Auckland, New Zealand. He also held the financial controller post in Ziki Limited, Auckland, New Zealand. And then Sir has been handling the position in the capacity of Joint General Manager Operations in Larsen and Toubro Limited. Currently, Sir is stationed in Chennai and Sir is looking after n number of operations which only he is going to reveal during today's session. Sir, we are really very privileged to have you today with us, and I would like to welcome you once again. So I would now request you to kindly guide our students on today's occasion. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Sumit. And welcome to all the students. As Sumit said, I have joined this particular webinar from Chennai, and I'll be talking in English and Marathi, whatever is comfortable, you can, suggest. Basically, whatever we see, my experience goes, like Sumit said, 30 odd years in different countries, different, geographies. One standout impression, what I have got is that traditional education system and the content which we used to learn was, far from what industry expects. इंडस्ट्रीला जॉब रेडी स्टुडंट्स हवे असतात. यू शुड बी एम्प्लॉयेबल, यू शुड बी जॉब रेडी. त्या दृष्टीने द एज्युकेशन degrees or education content what we used to learn was more of a bookish, whereas in overseas stint what I had seen, they were more focused on the practical aspect. So from that point of view, if you see, nowadays the trend which is changing, a lot of institutes or a lot of colleges, they are attaining autonomy. With that particular, point in contention, because of the autonomy, they can change the curriculum, they can change whatever the content they want to impart, whatever knowledge they want to impart to the students, which will make the students, job ready. And that, I think, is very, very important aspect in today's scenario. Whenever I interact with the academia and, the college I visit or interaction I have, I keep on stressing on, the way the technology is changing, the demands in the job workforce is changing. The traditional way we used to write, if I have to give the example, we used to write the accounts with hand, on paper. Now it is, everything is systemized. The ERPs have taken over that particular aspect. But does that mean that, always there is a question mark, always there is a dilemma that, the technology is ever changing and technology is becoming so dynamic that whether the technology will replace the jobs, what we are doing, technology will replace the human being. It's a myth, actually, if I have to say. But at the same time, because of the technology's advancement, technology's, taking care of most of the routine jobs, our way of working has to change. I cannot say that, I used to write accounts by hand, so I will keep doing that. I have to change myself to adapt to the technology. Every time technology brings in some new challenge, but at the same time, we have to be ready. We have to be, we have to keep upskilling ourselves so that I can take control of technology rather than technology takes control of me. त्या दृष्टीने जर बघायला गेलं तर even this threat was there when internet got introduced, when ERPs got introduced. For that matter, even 25 years back when computers were invented, and came into our life, people thought that they will do everything. That is not right, because ultimately you have to guide, monitor, and ask these robots or computers or whatever, even if you see the blue collar job, earlier everything used to happen with hand. Like Modern Times is a classic example of that movie. If everyone has not seen, I will suggest to see them. When CNC machines came, they thought that that jobs are gone. But today also on our shop floor, CNC machine has to be programmed, it has to be changed, it has to be monitored, it has to be controlled. Otherwise, it cannot produce the product or whatever the output we expect. So don't worry about the technology advancement or technologies taking over our space, but we have to work smartly. And there I feel each college, whether it is Garwari College or any other institute for that matter, if they keep a pace with changing, ever changing technology, ever changing environment, and adapt to that kind of thing and start imparting that knowledge, which will take away this fear of technology, IT, or whatever we say, automation, and make the students ready for managing these technologies, managing these robots. Then we'll be far more comfortable, we'll be far more confident to go into the job market. uh, Typically is our finance, accounts, or even ITES field, wherever I can speak about those things because I have worked in that. uh, सुरुवातीला जसं मी म्हणलं की we used to write everything with hand. The things used to take a lot of time, efforts, and the number of days required to close any particular books, accounts used to take months together. Then the auditing part and everything used to happen. Now with the ERP introduction, almost all the results, everything are ready by within 1 or 2 days after your period is over. So everything has become fast, everything has become, and that doesn't mean that people are not required. Jobs तिथे आहेत, पण more of rather than doing day to day routine activity or booking the transaction, we are looking at the people who can analyze those transactions. हा पर्टिक्युलर प्रॉफिट का झाला, हा पर्टिक्युलर लॉस का झाला, हे पर्टिक्युलर रिझल्ट जे आहेत ते काय दर्शवतात, किंवा वेअर वी आर गोइंग, how the industry or how the market is looking at your particular company. These are the aspects which are coming more and more, and our people or our job force is expected to understand the changing scenarios. Ekhada particular, like for example, last 2.5 years, 3 years, we have seen COVID had changed the entire the way the world used to work. Nowhere thought like engineering company like Larsen and Toubro, where we work, can happen like this, and we can work from home, or remotely we can manage. No one thought about it. Maybe 3 years back, this concept itself was something of not heard of. But the situation forced us to do that. Situation forced us to adapt to the changes. And in spite of the COVID, the first year itself, I remember when March lockdown started, everybody was worried that how the accounts will get closed, how the financial will get published, how the shareholders will be, informed about whatever performance we have done. But we adapted to that change. We, in fact, rode on the technology and make it happen, and everything went smoothly. Of course, there were some hiccups, there were some problems, there were certain situations which we had to tackle, monitor. But त्याकरता, as I mentioned, your education or the knowledge which you are getting from colleges, institutions, has to adapt and has to be adaptive, so that the changing environments can be easily managed or thought about. Now coming back to ITES sector, lot of like company like L&T, which is it is like a group of companies, I would say. It is not a single product or single service company. So for all the practical purposes, we have ERPs like SAP or LN-BAN or Oracle and all those things. But there are various functions which which has to be managed with ancillary systems, and various other functions like attendance or payroll or travel expense management system, or you can say the employee reimbursement. Everything cannot happen in the ERP. So we maintain a lot of homegrown or our own systems, where the functional consultant, where you have some flavor of IT, some flavor of basic, accounts, finance function. Those people are required to manage all these systems. Because once that data is pushed in ERP will take care of all the accounting and everything. But to manage these ancillary systems, lot of workforce and we cannot depend on the outside consultants or the engineers. We have to have our own system, own team who can manage, because as I said, the business scenarios keeps changing. It is always dynamic, so changes keeps coming, and we have to make those changes in the system so that it can function properly. त्या दृष्टीने, as I said, IT sector is ever changing and the technology is also very dynamic. But unless we keep the pace with it, we'll be left out. We'll be said that you are now outdated, something like that. The way we used to have the phones maybe 15-20 years back, mobile phones, and today's smartphones, it is the same thing with everyone, everyone's job and everyone's this thing. Even if I say today I am at this particular position after having 32 years experience, but that doesn't mean if I don't keep myself updated with the current technology, current requirement, company will say, hey, you are now outdated, you have to move out. So every time we have to adapt. Even we have to go through the trainings, we have to go back to the classroom learning, so that we know what is being thrown. Now we are talking, especially the young generation is talking about chat GPT, and these are all the buzzwords, open AI and things like that. So again, a lot of information or a lot of news are coming, whether it is going to impact the jobs, it is going to take the jobs and careers. But it is again, I feel that the way we are doing the jobs, it may go change. It may happen that today I'm doing this particular task in a particular way, but tomorrow, because of this chat GPT or these artificial intelligence coming in each and every aspect, I might have to change myself to manage that, to monitor that. And who knows that with these technologies, a lot of job opportunities will come up which were not there earlier. Like who will train these chatbots? Who will train these artificial intelligence? Ultimately human has to give the input, then only the output will come from all these technologies. The way we want output, we have to give the logic, we have to give how the output is required, then only these automation or these chatbots or chat GPT will work. So ultimately it will throw a lot of opportunities for the young generation who can train, who can maintain, who can develop these systems, and create, manage, integration. Because as I said, we have a lot of ancillary systems, we have a lot of ancillary automated systems which needs to be integrated with our parent ERP. So we need people who understand the business, who understand the normal the way of working, and then they can transform that particular working or that particular flow of work into these automated chatbots, automated chat GPT. So माझं sincere request or guidance to all your young generation is that don't go by just what curriculum says. Don't just go by what bookish knowledge is there. That is very important to make your base strong, but keep looking out how it is the new things which are coming are impacting, or how you can correlate that with your learning in the colleges or your curriculum, so that will give you a lot of opportunities. It will open up. Don't go by the traditional way of because I am a BCom, I want a job as an accountant. Not required. You can be the functional consultant, you can be in the IT sector as well, you can be the typical IT engineers knows the coding, but how the coding happens, they don't know how the accounts or finance or the treasury function or the stock market and the financial market works. They will do the coding based on the input given by all the functional experts. So you have to look out for a blend of both computers, IT, technology, as well as your base, which is like the basic golden rules. Even today, when I interview anyone, I start my interview with the golden rules. So it is very important that your basics are clear, your basic fundamentals are strong. Then you can build on that. Then any technology or any advancement will not deter or will not have any threat, because the technology cannot bring these fundamentals. That you yourself can teach the technology. So from that point of view, there will be a lot of roles around the artificial intelligence tools which are coming in the market, which is the market is flooding. So people will need to maintain the momentum, with AI learning, as well as a lot of the jobs which I mentioned were not existence earlier, but now it will, the large volumes it will come in a way. So be open rather than, earlier in my days, I will tell you my example. We were very, the traditional way we used to believe. We never used to look out for any other thing. Whatever is there in the subject, whatever there in the curriculum, we'll study, we'll produce in the paper, and we'll get the marks and we'll be happy. Now these things will not work. You have to attend, you have to keep upskilling all the time, because whenever we interview, we look at how adaptive the person is, how open he is for the technology, how many other things apart from the basic knowledge he knows. So it could be anything. You should be aware of what is happening around you. You should be aware of how these systems are working. Earlier, if I give you an example, if there is any query, a lot of people would have seen these telemarketers, or if you buy any product, you have any problem, white goods or anything, you'll pick up the phone and register your complaint. You'll try to talk to some representative, some associate, and will try to explain problem, and he will get back to you saying that these call centers kind of thing. Now it is getting replaced by the chatbots. So you must have seen in your bank sites or whatever, wherever you are accessing this. If you have any doubt, you have any query, you want any answers, quickly you can go into the chatbot field, and you put forward your question, and immediately within seconds you will get the response, you will get all the answers, all those kind of things. So we have to be mindful how the things around us are changing, and how it is going to impact me. But saying that, humans cannot be replaced. There are huge opportunities. As I said, this chatbot gives response. Suppose, for example, I want to know how much leave balance I am having. So in my system, my payroll system, I simply go to chatbot and ask how many leaves are available. So it gives me immediate answer. But someone has to train that chatbot. Someone has to train and program that, where to go, how to fetch the information. It should be accurate. It has to be checked, and then it can respond. It happens in fraction of seconds, but there is a lot of background work which only human can do. Sumit, I would like to take a pause here. If anything else or any particular topic you want me, because I think we are just few minutes left. So if any particular aspect or any particular thing you can, or it can be covered in the question answer section also, as well.
Okay, sir, no problem, sir.
Hello.
We have a
Hello,
question.
Sumit.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, sir.
हो सुमित, तुमचा आवाज येतोय मला.
ब-
काही प्रश्न असतील कोणाला तर जरा आपण डायरेक्ट.
हो हो. सर, एक प्रश्न आहे ढवळे सर.
हा बोला.
येस सर. Yes, sir. The question is that now when students are pursuing commerce as a stream, so what is the perspective or the angle of IT industry of looking towards them? Because usually the industry don't treat them as a technical people. So in that context, how the concerned student or the candidate should convince the industry about his skills, or rather the technical skills.
सुमित, सुरुवातीचा प्रश्न परत रिपीट करणार, कारण आय कुडंट हिअर यू प्रॉपरली. I got the gist of the question. Is it the question is that, from the commerce background or non-technical background,
Yes, sir.
how the student can put forward his credential to these IT companies?
Correct, sir. Yeah, that's the question. That's the question, sir. Yeah.
Sumit, I am not able to hear you.
Yes, sir. This is the question. Yeah. You can
Sumit,
answer.
नाही, ऐकू येत नाहीये मला.
नाही सर, तुम्ही म्हणाला तो प्रश्न बरोबर आहे, तोच प्रश्न आहे. तुम्ही प्लीज आम्हाला याच्यावरती काही गाईड केलं तर आवडेल.
हो.
Basically, see, you have to understand and acknowledge the fact that typical IT engineers who are trained to develop the systems or coding and everything, which is not part of any commerce or arts or any other faculty stream. तर आपण जेव्हा नॉन टेक्निकल म्हणतो, at the same time when these programmers or IT folks create some system or some part of say automated system or bot, who is going to train, who is going to test? आज मला एक पर्टिक्युलर ऍक्टिव्हिटी ऑटोमेट करायची आहे आणि ती ऍक्टिव्हिटी शुड गिव्ह मी सम पर्टिक्युलर आउटपुट. That particular testing, that particular even the right from the time when we call it a PFS, that is proof of concept, what we call it, TG requirement असते, requirement gathering we call it, that has to be done by a functional expert only. Suppose I know finance accounts or these topics, and that particular system is related to that. The IT professionals or IT engineers are not going to understand ही accounting entry कशी होईल, हा particular report कसा generate होईल, how the payroll function will happen, how the treasury things happens, or how the hedging, or when we book any foreign currency transactions, things like that. हे सगळं त्यांच्या दृष्टीने ते टेक्निकल आहे, which we know best. So when our people who are so-called non-technical, when we put forward our credential, we have to tell them that yes boss, I am the master in my stream, I am the master of these subjects. So who will give the input? I am going to give the input. Your technical people, the programmers, will create that system, but then again I am required to test it, because it should not give wrong results, it should not give the output which is not expected by any organization or a company. So I am the one who is going to test it, and ultimately who is going to use it. Once the program is ready, once the system is ready, once that bot is ready, those people are not going to be there. We are only going to use that. So these three aspects, we have to focus on that, and then I think the industry also understands, because they also require this functional or functional people. Only thing, my last half an hour gist of the thing was that you also try to upskill little bit. You should know certain concepts. You should know, you should brush up those things, so that they will feel comfortable. He knows certain, okay, he might not be able to program it or write the code for it, but he understands these aspects within any IT life cycle, if I have to say. So right from information gathering, right from who is going to understand that this particular routine activity can be automated. The IT professionals are not going to come and analyze. We have to analyze that. We have to tell that, Baba, हे काम मी 2 तास manually करतो. There is an opportunity for automation, so I require IT help, and ते केल्यामुळे माझं 1.5 तास वाचणार आहे. So these aspects we will have to confidently put forward.
Yes, thank you.
I
sir.
hope I have answered.
Yes, sir. Sir, there is another question. The question.
Sumit, next question.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Sir, can you hear me?
सुमित, तुमच्या बहुतेक हेडफोनला किंवा इयरफोनला
Kedar, I am not able to hear.
सर तुम्ही मी प्रश्न विचारतो त्यांना, तुम्ही जरा त्यांना मग हे करू शकता.
आता येतंय सुमित.
येत आहे का? बरं. सर, पुढचा प्रश्न असा आहे की now, sir, since you have worked in overseas countries and countries like New Zealand, Asia Pacific region, so, sir, what difference do you find in the working patterns of those countries as compared to India?
Very good question, Sumit. Current almost out of 30 years, I spent more than 12 years overseas, and with multinationals like Union Carbide US and companies like that, Pan Pacific. To be honest, I'm not trying to criticize anyone, but maybe because this is the way, this is the DNA what we are having. Or the education pattern what we are having. Overseas working atmosphere is very informal. तिथे कोणी कोणाला सर म्हणत नाही. I have to, that is the first striking difference. Even chairman of the company, I cannot say him sir. I used to call him by his first name, so that brings lot of openness. There is nothing like somebody is junior, somebody is senior, or all that sir culture is not there. Secondly, more important aspect is they are all job ready. Title education system मध्ये, rather than bookish knowledge, they give a lot of preference on the practical knowledge, practical learning. So when we used to hire any fresh graduate, तिथे स्पून फिडिंग चालत नाही. स्पून फिडिंग करायला तेवढा स्टाफ नसतो, तेवढं म्हणजे बँडविड्थ पण नसते कोणाजवळ. सो व्हॉट एव्हर इज जॉब डिमांड्स, द कॅन्डिडेट्स आर रेडी. ठीक आहे, थोडस गायडन्स इकडे तिकडे, दे विल कम, दे विल आस्क लिटिल मे बी अ पाथ or guidance, but nobody overlooks their shoulder. Nobody do the micromanagement. They are equipped, they are on their own, they are confident ki whatever job is requirement is there, and they will be able to do it. Interviews madhe sudha, rather than your degrees or rather than your number of qualifications, they look at very simple thing. माझा जो job requirement आहे, that requires these kind of skills, whether this candidate possesses those skills. आणि interview pattern पण तसाच होतो की ज्यातनं they can judge whether this particular person is capable of handling. For example, एखाद्या बँकेत customer officer आहे की जो who will receive the incoming customer and understand his requirement. त्याच्याकरता whether he has done BCom or whether he has done MBA or whether he has done anything, त्याच्यापेक्षा जास्त they look at the presentable personality and how communication and how easily that he or she can get into conversation with a newcomer whom he or she wouldn't have seen in his life. The अशा रीतीने they try to connect what the job requires and whether that that candidate possesses that particular skill. That is enough for them. And third important aspect is the if they can get any reference, they go by that, they believe तिथे असं म्हटलं जातं की whatever you say in the interview or on your CV or the reference, they believe on that unless otherwise you prove them wrong. So I think whereas in Indian context still traditional way of working किंवा hierarchy किंवा maybe I would say that they are not job ready as they should be. तो जो confidence level यायला लागतो तो maybe with the experience only it comes, but still we have that hierarchy, we have that unless the superior approves the things. आणि त्याच्यामुळे माझ्या मते बराचसा वेळ किंवा जो एक सायकल टाइम असतो एखाद्या ऍक्टिव्हिटीचा तो बराचसा जास्त आपल्या इथे लागतो. त्याच्यामुळे सर्टन थिंग्स डझंट हॅपन द वे ऑर द क्विकली इट शुड हॅपन. तरी पण आता IT इंडस्ट्री आणि गेले 20-1 वर्ष लॉट ऑफ चेंजेस हॅज कम अक्रॉस अँड but it will take time for that to come in other type of industries.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, we have one more question. Siddhi is asking. Yes, sir. There is one more question from the student, Siddhi Karekar. So she wants to know what is the difference between BCA, that is Bachelor of Computer Applications, and BCS, that is Computer Science students, and which has a better scope.
No, you have to repeat again, Sumit. I don't know. Kai, whenever I think I hope that मी जे काय बोललोय ते सगळं I think everyone could able to hear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. Can you repeat, please? Sorry.
हो. सर प्रश्न असा आहे की BCA म्हणजे बॅचलर ऑफ कम्प्युटर ऍप्लिकेशन्स आणि BCS बॅचलर ऑफ कम्प्युटर सायन्स या दोघांमधला डिफरन्स म्हणजे काय असतो आणि त्यामध्ये स्कोप कशासाठी आहे, कोणत्या स्ट्रीमला स्कोप असेल?
माझ्या मते curriculum wise you will be the right person to tell what is the difference between BCS and BCS. But from the job perspective, as I said, as I already explained, lot of ancillary systems keeps working in big corporates. It's not that L&T has clocked 1,70,000 crore turnover, पण त्याच्यामध्ये इतके बिझनेस सेगमेंट्स आहेत, इतके वेगवेगळे देर आर कंपनीज विद इन कंपनी आय वुड से, आणि प्रत्येक ठिकाणी यू विल बी सरप्राइज एकच ERP नाहीये, बिकॉज बेस्ड ऑन द बिझनेस रिक्वायरमेंट, बेस्ड ऑन द टाइप ऑफ बिझनेस, वी हॅव टू अडॅप्ट टू डिफरंट सिस्टम्स, डिफरंट ERPs. तर BCS BCA किंवा BS बॅचलर ऑफ कम्प्युटर सायन्स स्टुडंट्सला एक मोठी अपॉर्च्युनिटी अशी असते की या सगळ्या सिस्टीम्स आम्ही आमच्या स्वतः मॅनेज करतो. सो देअर वी रिक्वायर लॉट ऑफ रादर दॅन मोर दॅन अ व्हेरी टिपिकल प्रोग्रामिंग और कोडिंग पर्सन, वी रिक्वायर बिट्स ऑफ ऑल, लाईक व्हॉट यू से, म्हणजे जॅक ऑफ ऑल ट्रेड. सो जो समजू शकतो बिझनेस काय आहे, बिझनेस रिक्वायरमेंट काय आहे, कारण लॉट ऑफ ट्विकिंग हॅपन्स इन दिस अँसिलरी सिस्टम्स आणि अल्टिमेटली त्याचा जो आउटपुट असतो तो थ्रू इंटिग्रेशन इट रिचेस द अवर मेन ERP. त्याच्यामुळे बऱ्याचशा कंपनीज, टेक एक्झाम्पल ऑफ रिलायन्स, टाटा और एनी L&T सारख्या कुठल्याही कंपन्या, they require these professionals who can understand bits of both the worlds. म्हणजे business side ni पण they should understand what is the requirement, what change it has gone. Current government also keeps changing a lot of things. Frequently we have seen in the taxation pattern, in introduction of GST or the tax structures, etc. So every time we cannot go out and hire these computer engineers from outside companies, which will be very costly. Like we can't go to Infosys every time for their support. So we require our own team who can understand or who can get the things done if required at the ERP end as well. त्याच्यामुळे माझ्या मते या पर्टिक्युलर सेक्टर मध्ये there are a lot of opportunities for Bachelor of Computer Science students.
Yes, thank you, sir. Sir, another question. This would be the last question.
Sumit,
Yes, sir.
आणि अजून एक aspect, because I have worked extensively with our L&T Infotech also. You'll be surprised, L&T Infotech, apart from a normal IT company, they are leaders in testing. That means a lot of IT companies, they develop something like IT programs or IT systems, but they don't have the capability or right manpower to test it. So L&T Infotech does a lot of testing work for the new systems. There also we have these opportunities who can understand, because testing is two part. One is technical testing, which probably the IT engineers can do, but one is functional testing. So that functional testing is very important, because as I already mentioned, the output which that system is giving has to be accurate. You can't go wrong. बँकेने एखादी सिस्टम फॉर एक्झाम्पल डेव्हलप केली, यू कॅन्ट गो रॉंग इन वॉट एव्हर दे आर throwing the output. So these kind of sectors or the fields are, I think, the right for these candidates.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Great. Sir, there is one more question. प्रश्न असा आहे, sir, that
Yes, Sumit.
Since you have worked
Are we good?
In SAP also, in the SAP domain, so students want to know that how they can pursue the career in SAP domain or in SAP field, and is it worth to spend lakhs of rupees for pursuing some courses in which specializes in SAP?
Difficult question to answer, because काय झालंय, मार्केटमध्ये बऱ्याचशा institutes किंवा agencies you will find who advertise SAP training किंवा and they charge lakhs of rupees. That also I am aware. But unless you know someone who has done it and who has who can confirm that it has helped in their career, I think it is okay, I would say. पण बरेचदा काय होतं, मोठ्या कंपन्या किंवा जिथे कॉर्पोरेट्स they engage SAP consultant, most of them are taken from the business, and then they get trained, functional consultants, what we call it. But purely technical SAP courses किती म्हणजे I would say व्हॅलिड आहेत, किंवा त्याचं मार्केट स्टँडिंग किंवा मार्केट ऍक्सेप्टेबिलिटी किती आहे, इट इज अ बिग क्वेश्चन मार्क. SAP India itself has certain courses and certain, certified courses, which maybe, you can verify, and there will be some centers. पण गल्ली नुकड़ पे जो होता है, SAP training, and they charge heftily. I think that one should be very careful. Rather, I will suggest ki focus on your basic domain knowledge, and then after joining any workforce, probably you can look at upgrading or upskilling, on a practical. कारण practical जोपर्यंत training मिळत नाही, तोपर्यंत just on a test environment, हे लोक त्यांचे even I have heard that त्यांचे licensed copies पण नसतात. So whatever upgradation, whatever current SAP we use, it might be already outdated, which these institutes offer. So one has to be very careful. Instead of paying so much, I will suggest that you should have some strong reference who can exhibit that, yes, by taking this certification course, based on that I got this job opportunity, or promotion, or whatever it might be. Current बऱ्याचशा आमच्या लेवलच्या corporates मध्ये we have a direct tie-up with SAP India, and they have certified agencies across India, where this particular risk is not there. You will be in a safe hands.
Yes, sir. Yes, thank you so
Yes,
much, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. सर, एक शेवटचा प्रश्न म्हणजे नाउ बीइंग अ टीचर as well as the placement cell in charge of the college as well. मला एक प्रश्न असा विचारायचा आहे की सर, L&T मध्ये आता जेव्हा पण कंपनी आपल्या कॅम्पसवर येते, तर ते कंडक्ट ॲप्टिट्यूड टेस्ट, आणि त्याची जी मेजरमेंट असते किंवा जे डिग्री असते त्याची, ती खूप म्हणजे तावून सुलाखून घेतात मुलांना. तर सर, हा अप्रोच म्हणजे रादर हा जो ॲप्टिट्यूड टेस्ट क्रॅक करण्याचा जे प्रमाण आहे ते अगदीच 10% म्हणता येईल, 5 to 10%. तर सर, आपण हे कसं वाढवता येऊ शकेल असं तुम्हाला वाटतं? म्हणजे रादर काय अप्रोच मुलांमध्ये असायला हवं, कॉलेजेसनी काय करायला हवं, की मुलांचं ग्रूमिंग अशा पद्धतीनं की तो आकडा वाढेल?
I think what we look at also, Sumit, is how practically that particular candidate is ready, or job ready, I would say. Ani rather than typical traditional way, how he is adaptive. कारण कुठल्याही सिस्टम्स किंवा अशा कॉर्पोरेट्स मध्ये we know that the freshers will have to be trained. It cannot be that whatever we say from day one they will be able to produce. So we have also a robust training system, but for that purpose the candidate should show that willingness to learn. He should show that eagerness की मला काहीतरी नवीन शिकायचंय. ठीक आहे, माझ्याकडे डिग्री आहे आज, मी चांगल्या कॉलेजमधनं, वन ऑफ द बेस्ट कॉलेजमधनं मी हे डिग्री घेतली. तर तो जो एक कॉन्फिडन्स लेवल किंवा तो जो एक इगरनेस पाहिजे की स्टील आय एम नॉट इवन 5%, आय हॅव अनदर 95% टू गो अक्रॉस. हा एक ॲटिट्यूड आम्ही नेहमी बघतो. आम्ही ॲप्टिट्यूड टेस्ट मध्ये पण तेच नॉर्मली क्वेश्चन्स त्या टाईपचेच डिझाईन केलेले असतात बाय द एक्सपर्ट्स, की टेक्निकली किती साऊंड आहे त्याच्यापेक्षा हाऊ अडॅप्टिव्ह, हाऊ eager to learn new things. And see, every organization, every company has its way of working. त्या atmosphere मध्ये कसा तो जेल होईल? Is there a fitment that he will get easily get merged with our way of working, our way of style of working. या गोष्टी बघितल्या जातात. तर त्या दृष्टीने माझ्या मते कॉलेजेसनी थोडंसं त्यांना इंडस्ट्रियल व्हिजिट्स, किंवा corporate visits where they can see कारण still there are companies like L&T which are in a way traditional की तुम्ही डेच्या फर्स्ट दिवशी जॉईन होताय आणि तुम्ही जीन्स आणि टी शर्ट मध्ये आलेलं नॉट टेकन ॲज देर इज सम डेकोरम, देर इज सम कॉर्पोरेट वे ऑफ लाईफ. सो ऑफकोर्स ते स्लोली ते कल्चर अडॅप्ट व्हायला थोडासा वेळ लागतो, पण तरी पण त्या दृष्टीने वी ट्राय टू सी द कल्चरल फिटमेंट which is very important for any big organization, be it Tata's, be it Birla's, or be it Reliance or L&T. So that way college can focus on certain practical soft skills, what we can say, how to present, how to talk, how to behave in a group. These kind of maybe some soft skills you can add to your apart from your curriculum.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I guess we are done with the number of questions, and this was something that really enthralling. Getting guidance from you, sir, was truly something that I would believe that really students would get benefited out of this a lot. I would now come to the end of this session, and I would like to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. Yeah.
I think we overshoot the time, but I hope it was
worth, sir. It was worth. Yes, sir. Yeah. I would like to thank all the board members of Maharashtra Education Society, starting with Dr. Bharat Vankate, Secretary, Maharashtra Education Society, Shri Govind Kulkarni, sir, Member, Board of Life Member, MES, Shri Sudhir Gade, sir, Assistant Secretary, Maharashtra Education Society, Shri Kedar Tapikar, sir, Assistant Director, MES Shikshan Prabodhini, and special thanks to Dr. Ravindra Vaidya, sir, Principal, IMCC College, who was instrumental in organizing this entire webinar. So thanks to you also, sir. I would also like to thank the moderation team, starting with Professor Aishwarya Kadekar ma'am, Professor Mrunmay Kulkarni ma'am, Professor Arundhati Kamte, and Professor Avinash Pagare sir. And definitely, I would like to thank the technical team without whom this session wouldn't have been possible at all. Dr. Mukul Kulkarni, Shri Prashant Salve, and Shri Ganesh Jathar. Here we come to the conclusion of this session. And once again, I would like to thank Shri Swananda Dhawre sir for accepting our invitation and joining the today's session. So thank you very much, sir, for joining that session. And I would also like to mention one thing, that Dhawre sir has won L&T's prestigious award of the best CFO in travel management field, or his contribution. So definitely it is also something that we are proud of you, sir. And now I would like to request all the participants here to kindly yeah, just a minute, yeah. Kindly turn on your camera. We will have a screenshot. I would request all the participants to turn on your camera.